The United Kingdom Home Secretary James Cleverly on Tuesday signed a treaty with Rwanda in an attempt to overcome the legal block on the government's policy of sending asylum seekers to the African country. According to 3 people briefed on the contents, under its provision, anyone sent to Rwanda will be given permanent leave to remain there, even if their asylum application fails. The treaty is intended to address the UK Supreme Court's ruling that Rwanda policy is unlawful and paves the way for Cleverly to introduce emergency legislation at Westminster to try to revive the scheme. The Supreme Court ruled unanimously last month that asylum seekers removed to the East African country would be at real risk of being sent back to their home countries without proper assessment of their claims, and also raised concerns that the nation lacked a proper appeals process.
Rwanda has now established a strong reputation for the humane and professional administration of refugees and migrants. This is something understood by the UK and the multilateral community. But your country has made a clear and unambiguous commitment to the safety of people who come here. That has been displayed, and we have seen that in practice. You've also made a strong commitment to work with the UK and international partners in order to make sure that the robustness of your judicial system is clearly on display. And we are very proud to be a long-standing partner in that endeavour.
Rwanda and the UK understand that there is a critical need to find innovative ways to address the suffering of migrants making dangerous, desperate journeys under the exploitation of criminal human smugglers. There is also a need to tackle the underlying causes driving people from their homelands. In other words, the boats will not be completely stopped unless we reverse the lack of opportunity and insecurity in countries around the world.
To discuss this, we are joined via Zoom by Collins Nweke, Global Affairs Analyst. Collins, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Dapo. Thank you for having me.
All right, now let's get to it. What specific provisions or guarantees does the treaty signed between the UK Home Secretary and Rwanda offer to asylum seekers being sent to Rwanda, especially concerning their legal status and protection in the country?
Did I hear you say guarantee? There is nothing like guarantee there, Dapo. I mean, this is so very embarrassing. It is embarrassing because, when you hear the UK Home Secretary talk about the fact that Rwanda has now cleaned up, its mess, is now an epitome of justice, a country that can be trusted to, receive and actually look after refugees. It's ridiculous. It just makes one laugh. The question you ask yourself is, so it took them just a couple of weeks or a month or two to be able to do all of that. They need to get serious. Now, let me tell you what this is all about, Dapo. This is all about appearing to be doing something to actually drive down the net migration that is actually happening in the UK. As at the last count, the last official figure was 2022, there were 745, and that is the record highest, the highest recorded net refugee, migration crossing actually in the UK. And the vast majority, overwhelming majority of the, people that came into the UK in 2022 were legal migrants. Now, the current Prime Minister promised the electorate that he's going to drive down, the number. And so what they are doing now is a frantic, attempt to appear to be doing something, to curb the flow of migrants, to reduce the number. They know that this is a losing battle and it's not going to, get them anywhere.
All right, now how does the newly signed treaty address concerns raised by the UK Supreme Court, particularly regarding the previous policy of sending asylum seekers to Rwanda, and also regarding the risk of being sent back to their home countries without proper assessment of their claims?
Yeah, well, what they have done is indeed address the concerns raised by the Supreme Court. For a start, there is this fear, justifiable fear for that matter, because the those who challenged the UK government were able to prove to the courts and the laws were properly applied as ruled by the Supreme Court unanimously. That Rwanda has the propensity, because they have done it in the past and they will do it in the future, of sending people back to rogue countries from where they were fleeing, which means that they are actually sending them back to the lion's den, where nobody can vouch for their safety. That's number one. Number two, there was a whole question mark placed on, the judicial system of Rwanda and their asylum processes. Is it thorough enough? The court said, no, sorry, we don't believe that it is thorough enough, and that the judiciary is not independent enough, and the administrative processes are not in order. So what they have done now with this treaty, previously, what they had was a memorandum of understanding, which is non-committal. Now they have converted that memorandum of understanding to a treaty, which means it is now binding. Both countries are committed to doing those things that the Supreme Court had said, yes, they were absent. But the question then you ask yourself is, how did that happen overnight? That is a question that they need to actually answer when a new challenge is mounted on this treaty.
All right, Collins, we are pressed for time. We are deeply grateful for being on the news tonight. Thank you so much. Collins Nweke, a global affairs analyst. Once again, thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.